Gotta show emotion. Gotta have a personality. So as you can see from the title of the video, last weekend I went to the lake of the Ozarks. I ended up taking the RZ67 and the Mamiya 645, and I took 7 rolls of film with me. My plan was to just photograph just everyday life stuff, and then I was going to do a portrait shoot with my girlfriend Emma. So at the start of the trip, it was super sunny and very contrasty because it was high noon. We decided to take a boat ride, and I loaded up some Pan F Plus, and the first couple rolls of that I rated at 50. So I initially used the waist level viewfinder on the RZ67, and then I bought the prism, and I paid upwards of $300 for that, and I just wasn't using it that much. It was super heavy, and so I sold that, and I used the waist level for a little bit more, and then I came across a prism finder for $100 on eBay, so I picked that up. So I did shoot everything with the prism finder on this. Reasons why I like the prism finder is because you don't have to carry around a light meter, because the light meter is built in. So just whatever my film was, if it was Pan F Plus, I'd set the meter to 50, and if I was using Portra 400, I'd set it to 400 or 200 if I wanted to overexpose by stop. That is definitely the main benefit of using the prism finder on the RZ. The main downside is it's super heavy, and I went for a walk with it with Emma, and it was just super heavy to carry. And if you're going to be walking around for a lot and you don't have a bag or a neck strap, I would definitely recommend to just use the waist level viewfinder and have an external light meter. So when it comes to developing these, I just use an app called Massive Dev Chart, and you just plug in the film that you're using, and it gives you the time. For this, Pan F Plus was at 8 minutes, and the one roll that I pulled down to 25 is at 7 minutes. I used Ilfotec DDX, 400 milliliters of water, and 100 milliliters of developer. And after you follow the instructions for developing, I use Photographer's Formulary TF4 Fixer, which doesn't need a stop bath. So you just pour that in after you're done developing, and you agitate just like developing for 5 minutes. And then after the fixer is done, you will just rinse. I vigorously shake it 5 cycles. I'll do 10 inversions and shake it, and then pour it out, and then fill it up again, 10 inversions, shake it, and then pour it out. And then finally, the last step is just using photo flow. You just need a little bit of photo flow, and you pour that in, and I just use the stirring thing for my agitation. So I did indeed get in a canoe, or a kayak. I don't know which one it is, but I got him one with the RZ, and that was an experience, but I definitely liked the way that the shots turned out. That was with Pan-F Plus, and I really just wanted to get Emma in the kayak with the hills in the background, and I think they turned out really well. I don't use any ND filters or anything like that. I don't want to have to worry about anything that is on my actual lens. I don't notice a big difference between black and white films, so for me, I just usually go on the end of using low speed black and white just so I can have that low aperture on sunny days. And I don't mind using like a 400 speed film and pulling to 100 or pulling to 50. Ilfotec DDX is perfect for that, so that's what I like doing. But if you want to use a higher speed film, I would recommend just buying an ND filter for your lens. So then we took a boat ride to Emma's grandparents' house, and we made sure to stay within 6 feet, obviously. And all these were shot on Portra 400, which I don't normally buy, but I did come across a box that was super cheap, so I decided to buy it. And between Portra 400 and Portra 160, I definitely lean more towards 160 just because, again, the lower speed, I like shooting wide open, so the lower speed the better. A lot of these were overexposed by a couple stops because of the 400 speed, but it's easy to bring down when I'm scanning the film. So then we went to do the actual photo shoot that we had planned. These first 2 shots were shot with Pan-F Plus at 25, and I only had 2 shots remaining, so I just used those for the first 2 shots of the shoot. Super sharp, super creamy with the bokeh in the background. And then these shots were with the Mamiya 645 and Fuji Pro 400H. I only had a couple shots left on that roll, so I just took a couple shots of Emma with the 645, and I actually had a little bit of a light leak with these, so I didn't necessarily like these that much, but I just used this at the beginning of the shoot just to get familiar with shooting and the conditions, and just to warm up with my model. When I scan with Negative Lab Pro, I usually use the little white balance selector and select the film strip to select the white balance, but sometimes when you actually hit the film strip, it will say that it's not neutral enough to select a white balance. So sometimes I will do auto white balance, and I just wanted to show this little video. But a way to fix that is to just unconvert it, and then if there's something white in the frame like her shirt, just select her shirt, and then you will see the difference it makes when you convert it again with Negative Lab Pro. And then the rest of these pictures were on the RZ67 with Portra 160 and then TMax 400 pulled to 100. Really liked the way that these turned out. The colors were great. It wasn't too sunny. There was some clouds in the sky, so it was making for very good portrait picture taking. So I hope you guys enjoyed that video. I tried to make it a little bit more technical and detailed than my last video, which was basically just pictures and video set to music. I'm kind of in between things if I want to do like more technical videos or just basic pictures, like behind the scenes videos, stuff like that. So just let me know in the comments if you want to see more technical stuff like developing, scanning, shooting, stuff like that. I don't know when the next Analog Artisans episode will be, but hopefully this pandemic slows down a little bit and I can start shooting more of those. But yeah, just comment down below what you want to see from this channel, because I'm looking to put out more content and I want to take more pictures, and the feedback I've got on the last couple videos has been great, so I appreciate that a lot, and I'll see you in the next one.